Boop! Happy Monday. Today is Monday, February the 14th, 2022. Happy Valentine's Day. You should celebrate Valentine's Day in the spirit, which is, giving your all for Christ and for the sake of Christ and the church. And, even, well, you see where I'm going. This St. Valentine's is one of the martyrs of the church. Not ever really sure how it became associated, really. I mean, like, I know, but yeah, it doesn't make sense how Valentine's became associated with the fluffy romantic holiday that it is today. So anyway, have fun with that. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 120, 2 Kings 24, 18, 25, 21. I should say chapter 24, verse 18 through chapter 25, verse 21. And then 1 Corinthians 15, 20 through 34. And I'm going to take a look at 2 Kings and talk about 18 months, because that's how long the siege of Jerusalem took, according to this account in 2 Kings. So Zedekiah, what had happened was Zedekiah rebelled against old Nebuchadnezzar, which is, par for the course, because he had apparently already been rebelling against God, because Kings tells us that he was just like his dad, unfortunately, like his dad Jehoiakim, who unfortunately was not like his dad Josiah, and so he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, just as Jehoiakim had done. And so he had been rebelling against God, so he thought, hey, why not? I'll just rebel against Nebuchadnezzar too, which just wasn't a good idea, because Nebuchadnezzar, he was a patient man, but he wasn't as gracious as God. And so, just like his old dad, Jehoiakim, he decides to be rebellious. And so old Neb comes along and says, okay, that's great. I'm going to lay a siege around Jerusalem. And so if you don't know what that means in ancient terms, we don't really see it as much anymore, not like the same way we used to, or like say that I experienced it. But in ancient times, basically, you would surround a city with your military forces, and you would just make sure that nothing got in or out, and you would just wait them out. Meanwhile, you got to enjoy, all the resources of the countryside, and you had supply trains coming in, bringing you stuff that you needed, and, you had like all the seltzer water you could drink, all that stuff. Meanwhile, they're running out of resources and food, and you just had to wait them out. And cities would prepare for this. That's why they had walls. That's why they had storehouses in the cities. But it generally did not work out well for the people that were being held under siege. So nothing in or out of Jerusalem for 18 months. And when things looked as bleak as they possibly could, as it tells us here, like there was no food, it says, for the people of the land, King Zedekiah decides to ride out of Jerusalem. He opens a hole in the wall and he grabs a soldier and he rides out. But it wasn't like some glorious do or die heroic last ditch effort to turn the tide, though. That's not what he was about. He didn't like charge out against the horrible odds, like the King of Rohan, charging out from Realms Deep in the Lord of the Ring movie. LOTR fans, you're very welcome for that. No, he was running for his life. He was fleeing for his life, and he had his soldiers there to protect him, and they abandoned the city, and they abandoned the people of the city to whatever King Nebuchadnezzar wants to do. So he abandons the city, abandons the people, and then when the Babylonians finally catch up to him, guess what? His soldiers abandon him, and he's caught by the Babylonians. And then he comes to judgment. In the end, he faces judgment, and he's judged by his peer and his political superior, the king of Babylon himself. And he's punished accordingly. He's punished in a very horrible way. I'll let you read that because it's really horrible. But he's, it's hard to say if he's being judged so much at that point for, thumbing his nose at Nebuchadnezzar's authority, or if maybe Nebuchadnezzar is just like, you're a horrible excuse for a king and you're a coward and I can't stand you and I'm going to make you pay for it. Because that's what he does. So Zedekiah wasn't the kind of king that Jerusalem needed. Either was his dad. They couldn't even excel to the level of Josiah. And Josiah, we know, kind of screwed up, fell prey to his own pride at the end. But, this is all about the king's judgment. And sadly, if, I don't know, maybe he'd listened to God, none of this would have happened. Anyway, that's the DBR. Get out and enjoy the day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you later. Boop.